I'm so confused.
Hello, everybody. Specifically, Odd Stranger 911. That name is creepy.
All right, Scooter.
He's just standing there menacingly.
Oh man, caffeine. I had a rough Monday, Tuesday, and then
Love too hard, man.
huh? Oh yeah, absolutely. Lots of fun. No, I did 30 hours in the past 2 days. Monday was the heavier of the two, and then yesterday after I got out of work and whatnot, which was still like 11-hour day or whatever it was, 12-hour day, whatever it was.
Oof.
Oof. After I got out of work, Brittany wanted to watch Wonder Woman 1984, which is a project. It's like 2.5 hours long. And you still, at the end of it, go, why do I feel like I'm missing details? You know? So, if in 2.5 hours you still can't finish your story, you know, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't Wonder Woman.
The reason that Scott's voice sounds rough is that he was working these past 2 days.
No, my voice has been bad for like 2 months now.
He works in hospitality, guys.
I do have a lot of experience in hospitality. So. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, hype train's already started. All right, then.
You notice how that coincided with me saying something?
No, they want a hype train specifically to make an advisor for Adir, just to taunt you by putting it in Hot Gwen. That's exactly what they want to do. And Jake is sitting there like, please, not that.
We've had a discussion about Adir.
What was that?
I'm not telling you. Yeah. Let's just say we've come to a solution.
Okay, well. I wish I knew what the solution was, but in the meanwhile, thank you so much there, Oklo. In the meanwhile, want to recap us for last week, Jake? I know it's been weighing heavily on your mind, with or without your khakis on.
Sure, last week. So we started off with the ship crashing into us. And then we came out onto the deck to fight these things that were ridiculously strong, and
He's going to get the sassy at the end of this.
For the first time, I had to rely on my spells, which was
awesome,
mildly effective. And so Scott kept having them run away from me, and then he tried to shoot me with an arrow of slaying, by the way, which failed, and we got to keep the arrow. So he's
Sounds
out
like a
to
great
kill people
session.
because he's a mean guy. He's 100% mean.
Raerin
turned in, not Raerin, sorry. I forget Neil's new character name.
It's fine.
Alorel.
It's fine. I was forgetting it last week as well. I was like, damn, what am I called?
Alorel.
Alorel turned invisible the whole time.
He just doesn't compare to Raerin, does he?
He did some work, and Tesh definitely put in some work. Ilen with those heals, and we ended up killing all but one who ran away. Although one is dead near the ship with all those swords that we want to go and get.
Although I like how Scott was very specific to say landed the killing blow, but could not grab the body before he disappeared.
That's all right. We can just fly the ship over to it. It's fine.
That's assuming you can find it. I mean,
annoying when the enemy does not want you to win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was that.
It is, isn't it, Green? Isn't it, Green? Almost like that's better for them. So no extra sass, no little more details you want to throw at the end there, Jake?
Oh, I brought
Jake, this is your opportunity.
The captain back to life.
Oh, that was actually. I just want to say, clutch job last week there, Tesh. We all think that your character was a huge contributor to that combat. I would say that a lot more people would be dead, and certainly with how we're going to start the session off with, would be dead if it wasn't for your contribution. Absolutely. Same thing actually with Alorel. I mean, if it wasn't for Alorel consistently putting out a large amount of damage.
I knew that was coming.
Well, since he's not here, we can be honest. I mean, Grishka, guys, I don't think this is his forte. Like, I think he likes to have his feet firmly planted on the ground where he can smash, lowly mortals. I don't think he's up to the challenge, guys. I don't think hi, Jake.
Oh, hey, I'm back.
Oh, yeah, nice to see you. Just saying, some
To
people
be quite
prefer
honest,
T-ball for a reason.
I think the most important thing to recap is to go over the amount of times that Joey saved Scott's ass from just making terrible mistakes. Like, he just was forgetting these pluses and minuses all over the place. Like, if Joey hadn't been there, like, we would have been...
It was 1 plus minus reminded once.
It would have been well,
okay. It was 1 plus minus reminded 43 times, but only needed once. That's okay, though.
Joey putting in work.
yeah, he did. Like, I think you should say thank you. Look at the camera and say thank you, Scott. Say thank you, Joey.
Oh, God. That is too close for comfort.
I think that's the most important thing to recap there.
Once more with feeling.
Also, some dude got his spine amputated.
You can't amputate a spine. Like, let's be clear on this one.
No,
Let's be really clear on this one. That man got killed.
Yeah. Yes, he got killed. What I meant is, like, the spine was removed when the rest of the body was intact.
It was pretty funny. I imagine Ilen being like, all right, let's see who I can help today. Not that one.
just like does the whole like nudging him off the edge of the ship. Just
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
He summons like a broom. Just to, like,
yeah.
but
Norway.
because lack of gravity, it just sits there floating. He's like, damn, I forgot.
Oh.
They gifted a sub to Vegito Blue. I approve that.
He also gifted one to Sluna. Sluna, who we all know who Sluna is now, right? Oh boy.
I need to close my back door if I'm gonna be yelling.
You don't know
I
who
forgot to
Sluna
close my
is?
back door. We're back.
Yeah, of course. Wow, what a jerk. Jake, would you like to inform him who Sluna is?
I'll let you. That's okay.
Wait, no, it's not your buddy Nick, is it?
Oh God. I'm not sure which he's
What is going on right now?
It's Rena's sister-in-law?
Yeah, it's Crip's little sis. And like she popped by a stream and we were chatting with her for a bit and she went out and bought like a starter set and started reading the rules and stuff like the next day.
Oh, that's cute.
So I'm kind of locked in. I gotta do at least a one shot with her. So
That's awesome.
I've already tapped Rena and Doxy. We're gonna do like an all ladies one shot. So I just gotta find another girl somewhere to give him girls' night, you know?
Yeah, but why are you allowed to DM that?
Oh, I'm probably not going to be.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm probably gonna get kicked out of it. Let's be honest.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
no, it's probably exactly what's gonna happen.
I want them to have an intro where they all like animated, roll in on scooters, and then like they're the foldable, collapsible scooters.
So what we'll probably do is have Rena DM it, and so it's it'll be set inside Aurorum because she knows it better, and we'll force Rena to DM because it's always nice to force people to do things they don't want to do. And yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
I saw that. I looked at the stream at the right time. Thank you. Who gets it?
Grishka.
So I'm noticing a trend here actually. I think bits just get
what was
dropped.
that?
I think bits get dropped every time we say scooter.
No.
It was
like
Winifred
every
Scooter.
time we see it, bits just come in.
I mean, I don't know if I appreciate that. I'm thinking about it for a second. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't. Oh, look at that. Oh, you
How did the
bastards.
scooter thing start?
Listen, I was. I'll gladly re-explain the story, not the whole
Oh, God.
story,
I made a mistake.
not the whole story, and then
Fine, this community is now known as the Scooters.
Yeah, with the scooters.
No.
The Scooter Squad.
Short version is when Cell and I recorded his session 0 for the Warmonger campaign, I was, let's just say, very tired. It was like 2 something in the morning. I was like, screw it, let's just record. And I opened up with me being distracted and tired, and so it was like a story time. And I just told an old story that involved me unpleasantly being called Scooter by somebody who's kind of a douche. And how I was like, that's pretty much the only nickname that I don't like. You know what I mean?
You made
Like-
the mistake of
right.
mentioning that it was the only one you don't like.
Yeah, like
But now,
pretty
now,
much
you,
any nickname.
now,
I'm like,
you've, now you've taken it and you've made it your strength, you know?
yes.
You can go find that guy and he'll be like, wait, who are you? And you'll be like, it's Scooter, and then shoot him because, you know, Wild West and all that.
Oh, that's
That
actually
kind of movie, huh?
something to touch on really quickly. Is that the thank you, Norway. Is when I was watching 1984, at the beginning of the movie, a guy drops a gun and everybody freaks out. And I was like,
Level 5.
like you're talking literally somebody drops a gun at the beginning of the movie and an entire mall, everybody freaks out like they've never seen a gun before. Everybody starts screaming and running. And I'm just like, that's how people react to guns in the United States. It's not, I mean, some people would absolutely freak out. What the fuck? You know what I mean? But like, you would have just
I remember the. Sorry for the story time, Norway. I remember there's a video I watched of like an FBI agent. Hey, look, he's a wizard.
Oh, no, I think I know
FBI agent who like does a backflip at a party.
Yeah.
And he's doing a concealed carry thing, but it's just in his waistband. So he backflips, and as he backflips, the gun falls out. He reaches for it and shoots it as he grabs it because he's drunk,
Yeah.
obviously. And like everyone's like, oh, for a little bit, and then they just go back to partying. But like, he's like, I've got a gun in my back pocket, effectively. You know, what would be a good idea? I'll do a backflip. And then he backflips, and then oh, I mean, it's like a Mr. Bean
So the
sketch.
safety must have been off because he fucking shot it when he went to grab it.
It was
Hold on, law enforcement? What's the safety? You gotta be able to shoot faster.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right. We're gonna go too far down the damn rabbit hole. All right, last thing about 1984. There's a scene later on in the movie where all the streets are just in utter chaos because of movie stuffs. I will say the movie was better for me than it probably was for most because I don't watch previews. So I was actually surprised by a bunch of things. Like I didn't know who the villains were in it because I don't watch previews. I just knew it was called Wonder Woman 1984. So there were surprises in there because I didn't know a single fucking thing going in. And there was this utter chaos everywhere. There's just like craziness in all the streets. And then you just see like a random cop beating the shit out of somebody with a billy club. And I'm like, well, at least there's normality. We can find solace in this. And Brittany's just like, what the fuck? I was like, no, it brings it back.
That's not. No.
All right.
Feels like home.
All right.
Oh my god.
All right. So anyways.
Oh, Kitty.
I'll start a poll for in a little bit for you guys. Actually, if Midori's here, I'm gonna start a poll while Midori's here so she can get say. Midori, feel free to share your opinion in chat first, so other people all vote for what you ask for. All right. And then I'll actually jump straight back in this. And lastly, it is that's right. All right. We got the vote going on. It'll be a 2-minute vote for everybody, and I'll allow it to start
kind
now.
of adorable.
It'd be more adorable if it was on fire.
No.
All right, so
What? The?
when last we left off,
Oh, I completely forgot that there's someone else called Nick involved in things now because I read that. I just said like
That keeps
clan
getting you,
name?
doesn't it?
Clan Jake, clan name Nick. I'm like, why do I have a clan? What is
Tesh,
go-
Tesh, Kushibashi is for my buddy Nick. Don't you know this?
Fucking damn it.
All right, so let's actually get into the game. So last session,
I just wanted to read everything Anna says in like a heavy Russian, like terrible Russian accent, like making myself a carbonara, clearly Italian food.
give us
No, I can't do it. now.
Carbonara is my favorite food.
Well, carbonara is a heart attack on a plate, but it's freaking delicious.
Oh god, it's so good.
So good.
I haven't had carbonara in a long time.
No,
No, I'm not doing it.
listen,
We're getting into the game and we're doing it for Norway.
Neil,
okay?
listen, I understand that this is almost sacrilegious, and I do apologize for asking this, but do you ever make carbonara with capers? Carbonara with capers? It's so good. Assuming you like
What
it.
are capers?
Capers are like little pickled flower buds from a specific plant. And
Yeah.
they've like got a slightly floral.
You see them in, what's that dish? Chicken, what's that? Not Milanese, chicken, not marsala. Oh, they're like super popular in certain Italian dishes, but yeah, they're like these small little green things, and when you bite into them, they're fairly salty, kind of like a caviar. What's up?
What type of shield do I have? I'm glad it didn't come up last session, but I grabbed a shield from the hold. You never told me what type.
A shield.
Yeah, remember I said, is there anything in here that's sort of like a shield that I can take? And you said, yeah. And then never told me anything else.
A shield.
So is it like, because when I punched that in, there was a bunch of different options. Or is like...
Oh, most of those options are like not really options. This is a shield.
Okay.
So like the +2, -1, or whatever it is, yeah.
Shield, it's shield light. No, there's shield tower, shield light wooden, shield light steel, shield heavy wooden, shield heavy steel.
You can go. You probably want light because the same amount of AC is light and heavy. It's up to you if you want wooden or steel. That's your call.
Okay, I'll have a look at them now. Thank you.
Yep. All right, so back to the actual game at 7:30 a.m. So I blame Jake for this. So now we're in the actual game. Last time when you guys played, as you said, the combat more or less just ended because I was like, I gotta go. So we ended combat with the thing kind of chasing down and defeating the last one as it was flying away. But mind you, because the distance and space and whatnot aren't really a thing, but at the same time they are here. They are because your mind makes them a thing here. When it went flying off, like way off to the side, you guys, they continued to careen for rounds. As I said, it took time for the to catch up to it. So it went careening off for rounds, meaning that it is pretty far to the side because the speeds that they travel, right? So you guys don't immediately see that it is dead, if it is dead, where it is dead, and so on and so forth. That's
Wouldn't
not
I
immediately
know
apparent
it's
to you. You would know because you don't have a telepathic link to your summons.
I thought I did.
You could
I
double
thought
check.
that-
I'm pretty sure they could take telepathic commands, but you don't have to communicate with them. Now, that particular
okay.
summon might have the ability to telepathically communicate to creatures within 100 feet. But, so anyways, so yeah, you guys, combat immediately finished. That went flying off to the side. And what you would know, Tesh, is that the link between you and it is broken, and you would hope that it defeated the enemy. Okay.
It has truth speech, which I remember was something like telepathic, but I don't think it's what you're talking about.
Truth speech means it can speak any language with any creature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like tongues. So anyways, while you were kind of like sending that thing careening off to the side, I imagine just going to specifically Ilen for a moment. I imagine looking about on the ship, you would see a lot of very injured people. I didn't know if you wanted to like do a to all of them.
Yeah, I would try and find if anyone looks like they're in the sort of danger of like they need it now or else. I would be going to that sort of area first to do a burst. Otherwise, I want to try and gather up.
Yeah,
as many
be
people
efficient
as
with
I
your
go.
sure.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead? And I understand that you're doing this from a distance, but with a -5 to your check, go ahead and roll me a heal check real quick.
Okay.
And you could always call over to Grishka and be like, Grishka, gather them to
-5 to that.
So it's an 18. Are you happy with your 18?
You know what? I'm gonna do a heal, just a thing to one, see how many we have, and also to
Be a good
try
guy.
and bump it over 20.
Ilen's the true good guy here.
Hey,
There you
and
go.
we only have one left. Damn it.
So don't phrase it in such a beggy way. Like, you only have one left.
That wasn't. That wasn't. That was me hoping that there was more in there, so that I wouldn't have wasted one of our two.
So you guys are brain's not working. Sorry. You guys are, of course, and here comes your heroes to the rescue.
Thank you, Chad. I didn't mean to like that. God damn it.
Sure. We get it.
Wait. Sorry. You just bad mouthing us because we want like dice. How many daddies did you go through last session?
None.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Don't just lie to my face like that.
Excuse me. Check the VOD. None.
You went through like. There's no VOD. You don't upload.
Check the VOD. None.
I was like, he wouldn't be so petty to edit them out. All right, he hasn't uploaded it yet.
You edit them out. I haven't edited a video in, I want to say almost 2 years.
Scott probably doesn't know how to edit on this level of technology. His editing a video is on VHS.
I have edited videos before. I just don't enjoy it. So back to the thing. So you looking about the room, the area, you can actually see it's not the most efficient approach, but you'll be more effective this way. If you were to spend one running over to the kind of the side where that one guy was losing for a good while, and just kind of explode back there at the same time eating over where the captain was fighting beforehand, you'd actually be able to kind of like and hit two kind of groups of people to save them, hopefully save them, before being a little bit more efficient and dragging the injured over to heal them together.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then.
Sure, so you can do your little poof. And do you call out to Alarel and Grishka to try to drag the bodies to you, or is this something like, how do you go about it?
Once I've done that first one, I'll be calling out to basically everyone, saying, if you can move, if you can help get any injured in like towards me, do so now. I can, if anyone needs urgent, yell now. Call me over now, basically.
Sure. So for the ability to kind of like transport these people, I mean, Jake, would you like to go ahead and roll as a strength check? And Alarel, you can you don't really have to do so, Alarel, because you're gonna kind of grab somebody and you're gonna like pin and like throw their arm over your shoulder, and then you're gonna alter gravity and kind of hop around pretty easily. Whereas Grishka, as his large-sized form, is going to be able to literally grab. I mean, not being so cautious to like throw them under your arm.
Grab a handful of people.
Yeah. He's not like stacking them like bottles of soda under his pit, but like kind of grabbing up a bunch of people and moving quickly to gather them onto the main deck. Alarel himself also grabbing people one at a time because he's not anywhere near as strong, and moving them by shifting gravity to land in the different areas. So you can pop that one more time there, Tesh.
Oh yeah. Oop.
Do we heal this much as well?
Yes. If you're in that field, then yes.
You would have already seen what he's capable of, so when you saw him getting prepared to that first poof, you would have hopped over there real quick. Like, I'm just going to slide in here. Oh, that's nice. So what's that?
So I'm back to full.
Yeah. What's that, 30...
A lot.
7? 33.
No. More.
3, yep.
I'm also full now.
Okay. And I don't think Ilen was ever injured, so.
I took damage from Jake, as in my lifelink. I kept yoinking damage from him, but I'm full again now.
Yeah, and honestly, the captain would be full as well at this. I think she's full at this point because you beefed her up pretty good.
I healed her for a decent amount. I also
with breath of life. You breath of life to which gave her fucking heaps.
Yeah, where was it?
I kept her alive, really. So, all right, yeah. So I think that the captain's even
breath
back
of life.
full.
39 heal is what I hit her with to begin with.
All right, so when you finish kind of like doing these little pops, and they kind of immediately jump over to help you out. As you're doing these little pops, kind of like finishing things up, all of a sudden you look about the area and you see, unfortunately, there are some that even though you pulled them over and you tried to throw your energies over them, there's still a good number of them that were dead. Just the way that they were injured, it was beyond your ability to heal them.
Yeah.
The ship here is at just over half the crew it had prior, which, by the way, isn't a massive crew. The ship runs rather efficiently, right? So it's not just over half the crew that it was here before, including yourselves as the captain. It's right around now as you're coming to this conclusion. And the other two are helping you, so they weren't really doing anything else prior. That you realize the link between you and your summons has finally disconnected. You can actually feel them dissipating, not through injury, but through just kind of like almost like an alarm going off in your head, just like, it is that time. And now we'll pull it kind of down into RP for how things happen. The captain immediately speaking up as you kind of like looking over, you know, probably imagine you're looking at the captain saying, I did what I could. And then having almost like a facial reaction, realizing the disconnection, right? The captain would say, I must say, the degree of aid that the two of you were able to provide for our ship. I don't think, even with the heads up that we had received looking over to Grishka, I don't think that we would have survived this encounter without your aid. Thank you.
Sorry, we couldn't say more.
She looks about the area and says, the same. Obviously, all losses is unnecessary for things like this, but they all knew what they were signing up for. They all knew what the risks were.
Some of them escaped. The ship is obviously still here. It's lodged in this one, though. I don't know where the other two went.
I sent my summoner.
They were heavily injured.
It's disconnected now. I don't know what happened.
Do they need to come back to the ship, or can they just fly around this infinite space?
If they know exactly where it is they need to go, they can bring themselves to it. Though they'll be moving much slower than a ship would deliver them. Time, as you're quickly learning, doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of whether or not you're efficient with the time that you have. She looks about the area, the ship itself, kind of like walks to the side and looks off the edge. Our ship is unfortunately rather damaged, though still in one piece. It would take some time for us to repair it, but it at least is functioning.
If you can provide me with the materials, I can repair that a lot quicker.
She looks at you and shakes her head and says, while I appreciate the gesture, we do have skilled craftsmen with us, and you have used a considerable amount of your energy. I mean this with no offense, but looking at the way you approach that combat and just your physique in general, I imagine your power is all you have.
That's true.
Let's be a bit more conservative. She does look at kind of like looking at the damage up along the edge. She says, well, at least that seems to be in one piece. Almost like annoyed. As she looks over at the squid-like ship that you saw smash into this one. She looks back at the group of you and says, Grishka, if you may be so kind as to find where it is that the spyglass was left. She looks down at, unfortunately, the body of the previous lookout that was there before. You don't think that he was killed in the initial assault because, obviously he wasn't there as the dummy was, but probably in the onslaught that went on afterwards, just because of how successful they were at the beginnings of their fight. She says, see if you can find it and see what you can see out there.
He'll give her one back because he still has her one that she gave him.
When you go to give back, she looks at it and says, yeah, hold on to that in case you can't find the other. You might need to use it.
All right. Before I go, I want to have a look at these things. I've never seen them before. We'll walk over towards the corpses and probably get them together.
It's funny when you go to look at a corpse. It's one of those things that, again, it doesn't strike you as obvious the first time you see it, despite the skin tone and whatnot, because of how different they look. But these creatures are this greenish color that they have, almost like a medium to light green in color, their skin. I mean, with strong jaw lines, right? The ones you see on the ground before you also grow thick though, not thick beards like mine, thick beards down by their chin, almost like imagine the bottom of a Fu Manchu that grows out somewhat. Kind of think like how you often see Egyptian pharaohs being depicted, right? So a bit kind of growing off of their chin. Their hair being, somewhat spiked and left to medium levels. I mean, one of them literally has hair that looks kind of like you'd imagine Vegeta, but being dark brown in color, right? As opposed to super sad. You see another one that has, thick braids rolling down their back and kind of coming off the side. They both have like the large eyes for the size of their head. But overall, just even the kind of like darker brown, what's the word I'm looking for? Freckles, or almost look like liver spots because of the size of them as opposed to a standard freckle they have on their face. These are so similar to what it is that you see on the captain. But there's also some degree of difference between the two of them that stands out as stark. First and foremost, the demeanor by which they are, but you can see that between any two humans, right? But just there are other physiological differences that just kind of like strike you as being different, just like the rigidness to the one compared to the smoothness of the other, etc., etc. The dead ones being the rigid ones. The now dead ones, because, but don't worry about it. So, those are kind of like the things that stand out immediately when you go over and looking at them.
Yeah. And you've kind of just said pretty much everything about them. I don't have detect magic or any of that stuff. So studying what they look like, he'd probably look at Ilen if Ilen's there.
Yeah, so if you needed him to do that.
I wouldn't ask, but if you're interested in it, you know what I mean? If you're there, feel free.
I'd probably focus. Oh, I might do that later. I'd probably focus, unless asked, I'd focus more on healing and treating people's wounds first.
Yeah. So after kind of looking them over and kind of getting a beat at what these things look like and are, and obviously me not knowing and never encountering anything like this before, he'd just take that in and try and commit it to memory. And then I guess we'll try and rob them, see if they have anything left on them. I'll loot their corpse.
Oh, yeah, which we'll get to after he casts Detect Magic, right? So we'll get to that shortly, don't worry. So back to you, obviously, Jake, you're going to go and start searching around, see if you can find that spyglass, wherever it is that you can. Time has passed considerably. Your spell is obviously no longer active, because that's only a minute's per level. Alaro, what are you doing in this timeline? She actually hasn't given you, I suppose, too much notice at the moment, because she was kind of taken aback by the aid to which they delivered and already expected that from you.
Alarel will have reverted to his human form, and will be not far from Ilen, watching him tend to the wounded.
So you just kind of want to aid another?
I mean, he's quite lazy. I'm not sure he'd actually be using the aid, but yes, I suppose so.
Like, oh, that one's dead too.
Backseat
It's more like he pulls out his pipe and watches.
He's doing the whole no dressing's wrong.
Yeah, flip that one. Flip that one. Nice. Now push it down. Yeah, great.
And then at some point in time, Ilen gives him the look that says he's about to ask if he's helping, and that's when he's just kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
All right, I have backseat looting.
Nice.
Backseat looting. Okay, yeah.
All right. So back to where we were. You, Jake, if you can go ahead and roll me that perception check, but because you're going to be searching through the ship, I imagine you're going to take your time and spend time. But again, the place is a mess, and you cannot easily switch about your gravity to check all the areas very easily. You're going to take a -4 to this roll, and then go ahead and roll me your perception check, sir.
Do -4, you say?
Mm-hmm. That way, in case you roll a luck die, you only get back, the penalty I applied.
Okay. Sorry, it's just messing with my thing.
I understand you have a hard time kind of getting things started. Hard time seeing it.
Well, you got to remember that he's doing everything upside down, Scott. Like, come on.
Did that include the -4?
Yes, it did.
Jeepers creepers. All right. So,
Correct.
are you happy with your 34?
I'm happy with the
Oh.
34.
Oh, you see it's 35. Look at that.
Oh, damn.
It's not easy to go around and find it. These days, it was actually set at 25. It's not easy going around trying to find the missing piece that's on the ground, but you know, you spend a considerable amount of time, and eventually they're able to get to it. The whole while, Tesh is going to be making his heal check to aid the people that are with him. This is he's going to go ahead and roll that 3 different times.
Just as a note, I don't think it really matters because I don't have. It's not making alcohol to disinfect anything, but I can make water to help clean wounds and stuff. But so 3.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Wow.
that last one there.
Nice. Did you roll? Oh, you rolled 10, 10, and okay, gotcha. So, nice. So you actually do. I imagine you're not locking any of those.
No, I'll leave that.
And his backseat
Especially that
assistance
last
did
one.
not provide you any aid. So, it's actually after he got up and left is when you rolled the 32. So
Also, a nice little like note is as he's like helping people and healing them. If there's like a piece of armor that's broken, he can just like do a quick mending while he's like setting them on their way.
does
to
mending
sort of-
still take a minute?
Does if it does, then I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff afterwards.
Oh yeah, never mind. I'll do that
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the thing. You would be helping out, so healing the people up, so on and so forth. Alaral kind of sitting there, and eventually Jake would go ahead and find the spyglass. After a considerable amount of time, you're getting a bit annoyed. Check that out of the room. I feel like I missed something in there. You go back in, and then you kind of look about, and you see something like a little glint of light catches your eye. You go over, you see the glint of red. You find it, you pick it up. You can finally go back outside. Do you make your way up to the eagle's nest or whatever it's called? I'm not sure if it's an eagle's nest or an owl's nest. I always get confused.
I suppose so. It's probably the spot that, you know, provides the most, the best vantage point for a reason. So, yeah.
So you go up there, and what is it specifically you're going to be looking for first? I imagine trying to get your bearings and find the city. I know, Anno. It was a joke to season 1, session like 2.
What did you say? I unfortunately missed it.
I said I'm not sure if it's an eagle's nest or an owl's nest.
Oh.
I get confused.
I missed that one.
It was like a 2-year-old
that's
joke.
great. Yeah.
What?
She didn't tell me to look for the thing. She told me to look for them, didn't she?
Well, you can look for whatever it is that you like. She said to like, you know, look about. So
I'm gonna look about. You know, what do I see? Whatever I see. I mean, the only thing I seen last time was the
Going on a
island,
walkabout, mate. That's what he's doing.
Wow. That one hurt. That was really bad. You've done better than that before.
oh, Tesh.
But look, I have to usually like work into it. All right, I was just jumping into it. Like it's like the Anno Russian, you know.
First of all, Shinny, 07 to you as well. And Tesh, you also know what Bluey is too, don't you? The cartoon?
Oh,
07 is a
It rings
salute,
a
by the
bell,
way,
wait.
Scott. I know you don't understand.
I get, thank you. You've never watched the cartoon Bluey? It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. It's so funny. It makes me so happy. I love watching the dad.
the reason why I'd heard of it and not seen it is apparently it was 2018.
I mean, it was a while ago.
Not that, not long enough.
That was before this campaign started. Depending on what month. So anyways, back to where we were. So Jake, you're gonna make me that perception check. You can remove your penalty. You're gonna make me that perception check, and you're looking specifically for.
Well, really, I'm not experienced. I'm looking for whatever I see. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean,
go
yeah.
and look. So I'm trying to find something.
You have the vast openness of all of space. 360 degrees around, and all. It's a sphere of endlessness. So you have to kind of have like a direction, like something pointed that you're trying to find. So if you seem like if you kind of grab the thing and you like show her that you have it, and you're gonna start climbing up there or whatever, I'll actually have her call out to you. She'll say, "Get eyes on the city. With them being so near to here, I have a sickening pit in my stomach."
Oh no.
I'll try, but I've exhausted my magical ability. I'm not as perceptive as I otherwise would be.
Unfortunately, we're much closer than you were last time.
All right. So I'll look.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll me your perception check, sir, my boy, sir. Don't forget to remove your penalty. Oh! The dice do not let you down. No, it's Jabus.
That's good.
Jabus, would you like to crest that threshold of 40, knowing that the distance...
I would, but I mean, when we need luck die at the moment, so...
I agree, you need luck. Would you like to crest that threshold of 40?
No, I think 39 will do us.
Are you sure?
Now you're making me actually want to do it.
He's so evil with this.
What does Joey always say?
Scott, have you remembered to add the +2? Hey, what's into that one?
You know what? I'm gonna luck it, and I'll tell you why. All right.
Right.
What if there's more of these ships about?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? If I see it before it sees us, might not have to deal with it again. Maybe.
That's a good call.
Neil, you look like you want to say something.
No, I don't.
Neil's just sitting there with that 90-20 out of his shirt saying, "This is my life."
I don't believe you.
You also
So
know,
I've
like,
been rolling really
there you
cack
go.
recently. We in my Monday game, which is available on Patreon. No, in my Monday game, like I'm fairly certain someone's cursed our rolls. Our average roll was under 10 for the entire
yeah.
party. I'm fairly certain it was brutal.
Good. Suffer. So, what was I saying? The, looking about the thing, you spot out and you try to see the city. You don't see the city at first.
I was gonna say, man, you made me luck it. I'm 42.
You don't see the city at first. Instead, you see... It takes a moment for you to discern this one particular descriptive word, because it's so large and designed so strangely that when you come to the realization that that is a ship that is out by the city, you're taking it back. Like you literally, it's one of those like, what is that massive thing out there? It's over near to the city. I don't recall this being here before. It is ginormous. But not only is it a massive ship, it is held together by a bunch of different metal, almost like patchworked together. Whereas a ship you're on looks like a ship that was probably made in the material plane and transported here, right? This looks like a bunch of patchwork metals. And because of that, even if you thought like almost like a cruise ship, like going to the Bahamas sort of a thing, right? But with a whole bunch of different metals and other things thrown together, bolted together to make this thing function. There's no, the sails that are on it, you don't see on it, at least as of right now. There's no sails that you see on this thing. It's just a large, almost like a wedge of patchwork metal. And then it's after you zoom in a bit more and you start to get different angles that you realize the sheer number of those creatures that you just fought 4 of. There's an incredible number of them. Dozens, to say the least, there. But that's not what catches your eye. You would have noticed that with a DC, 30 at these great distances. What catches your eye, the thing that kind of like as you're looking about further and further, is you can see that the ones that aren't on the ship, that are off of it, are doing something. They're grabbing these large, it looks like chain, and they're going to different points in the, so I suppose they're grabbing these large devices. Almost looks like pikes. There's different points on the city that you saw there that was referred to as, the spire that you saw there. And they're kind of jabbing these things into the ground. And as they jab them into the ground, they immediately jab them and just kind of like jump backwards as the ground beneath where they jab it into like splinters and cracks and lifts up slightly and so on and so forth. And then you'll see that as they kind of like wave and signal over to the back of the, again, like large wedge-like shape that we're calling a ship, you'll see a group of 4 more of those creatures will be holding on to what looks like a massive chain. And they jump off of the ship, all 4 of them in unison, dragging the chain down to that pike that they had stuck into the ground, kind of transforms slightly to have a bit of a loop to it. And it looks like they pass the chain or connect the chain to this in several different locations on the city. The different inhabitants of the city being, handled systematically because they're not really needed. All throughout it, as this entire thing is being linked up to it.
They're just
I'm
fucking
not taking
stealing
my
the
eyes off
city.
what's going on. He'll just yell out for the captain.
Okay. The captain calls back and says, "What does your keen eye see?"
Come up here.
She's there in moments. Just kind of.
Okay. He's not yelling, obviously, because I don't know if she would want the crew to hear.
He
or not.
whispers in her ear, "Hi, Captain."
Well,
He's working on that
already
hair.
that. He'll just say, those creatures have reached the island. There is a huge ship, and it looks like they're attempting to tow the island away. The inhabitants are, being taken care of.
They're doing what?
They're attaching a chain.
They're taking it.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
This is. I gotta fix the emotes. I'm so sorry, everybody. I've been busy. Last night I technically had time, but I was with Brett. So you she says they're taking it. I've heard of this before. I've heard rumors of this before, but I've never actually seen it. They're killing all the inhabitants and stealing this thing. That's incredible. Why in the heavens and hells would they be taking this? Where would they be bringing it to?
You would know better than me. I can keep an eye on it, but I don't know if we want to.
What I could think is areas like that, like what you see out there, it's a precious commodity. You don't find much land out here. Perhaps that's exactly what they're after.
Makes sense.
She says, just keep an eye on them while I contemplate this matter. We'll have, I'll gonna continue having the people below repairing the ship.
That's fine. I'll keep an eye on it as best I can. Although, Captain, I will bring up, we are here for a reason. I'm not sure where we're supposed to be going, but as far as I know, that was your end of the deal.
She says, I'm aware of why you're here. And then she will, but that was said a bit coldly. And then she will jump off the deck of the ship. Alaral.
He's leaning against something, and he straightens up and taps out his pipe and looks over.
Get that damn thing wedged out of the side of my ship.
Me?
She just gives you a look that answers all questions.
Do we get a speedboat?
We'll see about that.
And so you can imagine you go and start trying to wedge that thing off while the people are beginning the repairs, so on and so forth. Jake from State Farm, don't forget that you have your Winifred's Wisdom, by the way. I don't know if you marked that anywhere to remind you.
I
Actually,
didn't know that I had one.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry. We talked about that at the beginning of the session. I think, like before we got started. It came in 41 minutes ago. So, you sir, if you could do me a favor while you're spying on this thing, trying to get as much intel as you can, pulling back out, going back in, getting different angles, different sights, trying to see from, kind of like
You're
flip
telling
it
me
to the
he's
other
literally
side.
just eye fucking.
No.
Scott was just so Scott so badly. You can see the just.
Jake, could you go ahead and roll me an intelligence check really quickly?
Do I know what I'm rolling this intelligence check for, so I can decide whether or not I want to use my Winifred's wisdom on it?
To identify something that you're seeing.
Oh, well, that sounds very important. So I'll.
That's the start
I'll
of
do
an
that.
encounter sounding thing.
That's a start of what?
I said that's the start of an encounter sounding thing.
So we will just add 5 onto this then.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. So a 16? Are you? He's sitting there staring at that dice, saying,
If you've used your Winifred's,
No.
it's probably still worth it to luck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I clicked it and it just wasn't showing up.
"Oh, gotcha. Cool." So, with your what's that? 19 total?
19, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you proficient in knowledge planes?
Am I proficient in knowledge planes?
Yes, Raerin
I am
was.
proficient.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I have
see
ranks
shit
in
because
it.
I know shit. I just can't see shit.
I'm gonna have you click that for me too, real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Actually, give me 2 seconds. I want to check something out.
That's 26. I've got +2 from heroism, which lasts for a long time.
Oh, okay, cool. But it's been a long time. How long of a time does that last for?
No, 100
it's-
minutes.
It's not bad.
I'm just busting your balls. All right. So you said that's actually 26. It's actually okay. So you're standing there watching this thing, watching them grabbing at the spire, or the other city name that you had received, and seeing how they're hooking this thing up and taking it, and they literally start taking the thing. At one point in time, almost all of the people, we'll call them, that are left the ship, return back to it, with a couple more staying on, almost like it's their job, their responsibility to look after. I mean, we're not talking a ton, we're talking maybe a half dozen at most throughout the entire city, whose responsibility is to make sure that the anchors that they seem to put in place stay in place and that things are functioning well. As all of a sudden you see the size of this huge wedge, it's almost like they must recoil them, like pull them back in, and then because of the massive size of the ship, they just kind of dislodge them with force, almost like a popper, right? Like launch them out. You can see these massive sails just kind of like explode outwards in these huge fans that come off the side of the ship on either side of it that are about the size of the ship itself, making it becomes so obvious. It's one of those like, how do people never see this thing? Well, usually everybody's dead. As it starts grabbing onto the astral winds and starts slowly at first and then more rapidly propelling itself forward, dragging behind it this entire chunk of land, this entire city. You're watching this thing as time is passing by down below. Enough time, dare I say, to end your heroism. But after you notice. So, because you're watching for a considerable amount of time as they're doing all these things, and finally, I mean, even just the launching is like a good 10 minutes just to and get the thing to start moving. You look across and just something strikes you as funny. So as you're like looking at this, oh, this bastard! So I wish I could get my sword, my axe into one of. You kind of like pull back and you're like, that looks weird. And so you like change your angle slightly and pull back a bit more and change your angle slightly. You come to a realization that you hadn't prior in all the different viewings. The spire has that name for a reason. because of the large spires that come off of it. But more than that, seeing the way that it looks, the fact that it has these spires that actually come off of the landmass itself, it almost looks like an outstretched hand. And then you think to yourself for a minute of exactly what it is that you're looking for.
Fuck.
He would immediately just like yell out for Ilen. Straight away, he'd yell like Ilen, and then he'd say Captain.
The captain, hearing like the urgency in that, the captain very quickly says, Ilen, and she like jumps over to where he is, wraps an arm like without like a very unceremoniously arm underneath, and he just kind of like takes a moment, and like Mario jumps up there, hops up onto or Peach jump from Mario, jumps him up there and like kind of like rests him down onto it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's a fucking hand.
She says, "What do you mean?"
It's what we're looking for. It's a piece of what we're looking for. That land there, it's a hand.
I'm going to need you to give me very specific detail of where it is that you're seeing. And she allows you to like describe to her where to look, but more importantly, continue RPing. As she takes the thing and starts looking.
Yeah.
You mean wait, what's happening? Because I wasn't filled in with what was happening.
Alorel, I don't know if you are trying to listen in as well. Roll a perception check, but continue eating. Go ahead. Neil, you're not Neil, sorry. Tesh, you're not looking, you're just RPing. Go ahead.
Yeah. It basically said that because he wasn't filled in as with what was happening before.
Ilen, this is what we've come to find. It's a piece of a god. It's a fucking hand, Ilen. They're towing away this.
What? Wait, what's towing?
That
you were very quiet to the captain before. You didn't tell me what was happening.
Those things that we were fighting. There's more of them in a huge ship, and this huge ship attached chains to what I thought was an island, but it's not. But they're towing it away. This is what we've come to find. A piece of a dead god.
Huh.
I don't know what to do here. That ship is big enough to tow like what they were using as an island.
If they're towing it, they're taking it somewhere.
Yeah, probably. The captain told me they like to steal land. I dare say they're probably towing it back to wherever it is they live, which once it gets there.
What if all the land here is that?
Where's the nearest piece of other land?
Just
Captain, how... I don't know if you're seeing this, but I mean, how many pieces of land is there here?
They're few and far between, but unfortunately, my eyes are not as keen for seeing such things as yours. I can't quite spot out with oh, never mind. That is a massive ship. You hear tales, but nothing. You can actually see her kind of like swooning for a second. Just because to her, this means more than Grish could be like, wow, that's a big fucking ship. There's a lot of them, right? But to her, there's so much extra meaning to it that it's, and the dangers that she would know to be there. She says, that ship, where they're bringing it, that could be where their queen lives.
It also might be where they have more of these pieces.
And probably where we don't want to go. We fought 4 of them. I could barely touch them.
She looked at you. She takes the thing from her face, like takes it off of her, off of her eye, and she turns and looks at you and says, "You came here for a reason."
Do we need the hand, or do we need to follow it to the rest?
I think it needs to be followed.
That's what I'm thinking as well. While that might be dead, I assume dead, if there is any evidence of the pieces living where there's more of them, we're more likely to find it.
We're going to have to follow.
And Captain, we should set course.
Our ship is still injured. Our ship is still considerably injured, but looking at the size of that thing, luckily, it will be able to be spotted from a considerable distance, will it not?
I'll do my best.
We have to continue repairing our injured ship, but more importantly, there's some details that we're going to have to go over. We'll meet in my quarters in a short while's time. You continue seeing to all the injured, stop any from fully dying off. You know where they are. You can spot them easy enough. See if there's anything else of interest around. I'm going to make sure that we are prepared for this voyage. And then almost like she's absent-mindedly almost, because like she's clearly distracted with the discovery and what it is that she's kind of agreeing to go along to.
Yeah.
She just hops off, leaving Ilen up there.
Right. Gets ready to start climbing down.
Sense motive. You can see that she's afraid and definitely calculating. With a disgustingly high sense motive like that 41, you can imagine she looks like she doesn't want to be part of this contract anymore. She doesn't want to be. She doesn't want to go follow that thing. Because you have to go there, right? And she's supposed to bring you to where you're supposed to go. Now she has to follow that thing? Yeah, she doesn't want to do that. So you're kind of like picking that up off of her. Ilen, she just seems distracted.
Yeah, fair. I'm more worried about the climb
after
down
she
now.
after she leaves Ilen.
Yep.
The captain is having... I don't blame her, but she... I'm thinking she's beginning to question whether this contract should be honored or not.
Given
She
what
seems
you
an honorable
described,
woman, but anyone seeing what I'm seeing and knowing where we have to go, if this
Yes.
wasn't a mission directly from Vroga, from Nankara, it is not somewhere I would go. So these people, we're asking a lot of them, but we must ask it.
Thanks for the heads up. I'll try and keep an eye on that side of things. I don't think she'll pull back on us, but she might have doubts, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really hope we're on the right track, because that is, quite frankly, terrifying given what we just dealt with, knowing that we're going where they came from. Well,
Help the people.
yeah,
Keep an eye.
will do.
I imagine time eventually passes, and Alarella is able to get the thing dislodged and wedged away. And a bit of time after that, she finally will call all of you to her chamber, but not before we handle two important details. One, Krishka, was there anything else you're going to try to spot about while you're up there wasting time, or do you just want to continue staring at this and try to get as much data as you can?
She told me to have a look around for anything else, so I will do that. I will have a look.
Oh shit! There's one that got away. We need to make sure that one.
Yeah. So I will have a look around. But one thing that I will whisper as I'm up there is Phaedra.
You'll actually hear a bit of clawing for a second, almost as though he's walking along the mast nearby, and say, "Oh, here I was hoping you'd forgotten of me."
Did you enjoy the battle before, you fucking invisible prick?
I know, Alarel, that's his name, right? Hiding. You choose your friends well, don't you?
Any trouble with that Dava before you left?
You hear the poignant silence that answers your question.
Lucky I vouched for you there, Phaedra. Do me a favor. Stay close. Very close.
Oh, unfortunately, otherwise is not currently an option.
And then he'll continue looking around.
All right, so go ahead and roll me that perception check. I don't think you have any more Winifreds or no, you don't. So you can go ahead and just bloop and hope for that natty 20. Oh boy. See why? When I roll an 11, I get an 83.
No, my heroism's gone now, so. She's only 26.
Yeah, nothing stands out to you, unfortunately. Nothing stands out to you. All right, Tesh, the other thing that I wanted to take care of was pertaining to you instead.
Oh yeah, the detect magic on the bodies, right?
Exactly. So you have, I believe, 2 dead bodies here. Oh, that music just got really loud on me. There we go. So you are going to cast detect magic on the bodies. It's a 0 level spell, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Is it? It used to be in the old days, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a cantrip.
Cantrip.
So, for you, Ilen, you find several magic items on these people. Each of the 2 bodies has a magical boot, magical cloak, magical boots on them. They each have a magical ring. Obviously, the swords that were taken away and left are magical. The armor that they wore was magical. The bows that they had on them were magical. They were completely decked out in magical equipment. But actually, the captain herself does address this. And one of the things she says is you start looking over the body with the others nearby that are probably capable of doing similar things. She says, for the acts of bravery that's you and Grishka did, and Alarel as well, I suppose, each of you would get first pick before it's added to the treasury.
Okay, so we get. So first of all, it was two.
I'll describe what they are
cool.
in a moment. Yeah. Because you guys are gonna be able to choose which one you want. So a combination of Ilen needing to roll a check, don't actually roll it, and collaborating with the NPCs. My apologies. And collaborating with the NPCs that are out there, as to what tea is just not as effective as coffee. Tea is for the weak.
Then.
No, not at the moment.
Why not?
Because it takes time to grind the beans and put them in the machine.
And you're saying that these lovely people watching us don't want to go for a pee?
I'm saying it's not time yet.
When is time?
When Brittany wakes up, because then she could just do it for me.
Wow. please clip that and send it to Brittany.
Yes.
If you clip that and get it to me, I'll get it to Josh, and we'll arrange a handover.
Josh doesn't have Brittany's number, so
I would imagine that your brother does.
who?
By the way,
Did he announce to the community, by the way, the details about his twins?
yeah, he said he's having a boy and a girl. One's going to be called Neil. He's not sure about the other one yet.
Oh, I thought the girl's name was Neil. That's such an effeminate name.
Yeah, he said one. I don't know which.
Yeah, I think it's the girl because Neil is a very effeminate name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, what was I saying? So the identification of these items.
Sorry, one moment. I need to interrupt you. Norway just said, if you need coffee and tea does not boost you like it does, how is tea for the weak? It is for those who are strong on their own.
Oh, hold on. I got this 1 second.
Screen.
There we go. What?
Is that Green's first ban?
Wow.
First time out?
Wow. After everything Green's done for you.
Cleanse. That's not a chat cleanse. That's a fucking timeout.
What the? It's okay, guys. I screenshotted it. I'm so sorry that I indirectly caused that, Green.
You take that back.
I hope that this proves to you that Scott is in fact evil.
He's saying
Probably needs his fingers
devilishly good looking is what he's saying. That's what he's trying to get at. So back to the game and the magic items you guys get to pick from. There is on each of them a chain shirt, +2 chain shirt. I don't know whether or not anybody has interest in that. A +1.
Do we only get to pick one thing?
You each get one thing.
Damn it. Okay.
So feel free to write this down if you need to. A +2 chain shirt, a +1 composite longbow, +2 strength. A belt of incredible dexterity, +2. Boots of striding and springing. A cloak of resistance, +2. And a ring of protection, +1. No, +2.
What was the boots of striding and what?
Springing.
Ooh.
Cloak of protection, +1. And ring of protection, +2.
I wouldn't mind the ring protection +2.
There are 2 of each of those items. You each get to choose one item.
I got a great screen cap of your face there, Scott, as you're like performing your evil deeds.
Did you just say that, or do you have that written down somewhere?
I have it written down. Why?
Could you like post it in our chat?
No, it's not written down that easily. He's writing it down right there. He wrote Belt of Dex. After Belt of Dex was the Boots of, and then there was the Cloak of +1 and Ring of +2.
Cloak of +1 what?
Resistance, and Ring of +2 protection.
Okay. The boots were interesting, not quite what I was hoping for.
They increase your speed, which is nice. So
no, they don't. They bring it to leave it at 30.
wait, boots of striding and springing?
Your walking speed becomes 30 feet unless your speed is higher. And then you also can jump 3 times, but no further than your... jump 3 times your normal distance, but no further than your remaining movement. Oh, wait, no, this is 5e.
Oh, I was like, what? I literally just started Google Pathfinder Boots of...
D&D Beyond took it over. My bad.
Okay, I'm pulling up the actual PFSRD one. So it's... Your baseline speed increases by 10 feet. In addition to the striding ability, which is considered an enhancement bonus, these boots allow you to make great leaps. You can jump with +5 confidence bonus to jump checks, but it's important to note that whenever your speed is above 10, whenever your speed is above 30 feet, you actually have a bonus to jump checks, as well as when it's below 30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just looking for that modifier. Faster than... You get a +4, so it's actually a +9 net total to jump checks, because a +10 to your speed, so it's +9 total to jump checks.
As much as I would like the chain shirt, I think I'm going to have to take those boots, because I need
Well, there's
speed.
also the Ring of Protection, which I don't know if you have anything like that yet.
I don't, but I need speed.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Need for speed. Gotcha. And it's, again, it's a plus...
The
it's 2
resistance
of
is a
each.
+2, not a 1.
Oh, is that what I said originally? I think I
thought
said
it
a
was
1. No, I
+2,
said a
but
1.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I said
All
1.
right, well then I've already got one.
And Ring of Protection, to be clear, is a deflection
Wait,
bonus.
what is the Belt of Dexter?
It's a +2 enhancement bonus to dexterity.
Interesting. Okay.
which is probably great for Neil.
Not so good for me. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to go with the boots just so I can attempt to keep up in combat.
Neil, you going for the belt?
Yes, but I mean, it depends on how it all goes down, I guess. That would be my preference.
Well, at least one of them is not taking a belt, and there's 2 of each item. So
Yeah, so
you can definitely grab one.
Yeah, but we'll have to see what the captain wants to talk about in the in her chambers.
Oh, I understand. Well, you kind of like picking the item would happen prior to the RP in game. So you definitely pick him first.
Okay. I'll take a belt.
And I think there's a mod or there's an enhancement bonus or something like that. You know, just add the 2 on there. What does that bring your dex to now?
24.
What was it? Was it prior a natural way? You didn't have a magic item that made it bigger before, did you?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna take the boots as well.
Really? Oh.
Well, deflection bonus is same as Shield of Faith apparently. So.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. It is the same as Shield of Faith. I was just
It
checking.
doesn't
How
stack.
do I write in buffs for movement in the buff section?
One
No
second,
idea.
sir. So Jake, your speed is obviously less than 30 because of your breastplate's heavy. You could technically switch to the chain shirt, and it still gives a plus 6 AC because a plus 2 chain shirt. So it's lighter and it has just as much armor.
Does it actually bring my speed down?
Breastplate does, yeah.
Oh shit.
It literally says
So
on here your speed's 20 feet.
The plus
It says down here speed's 20 feet.
2 chain shirt, would that be the same the same AC as the breastplate?
And it's a higher max dex and a lower check penalty. Not like crazy difference,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll do that then.
Because a chain shirt is usually minus 2 ACP. So actually, because it's masterwork to make it magical, and make sure ACP a -1 instead of a -3, which helps a bunch of your skills.
Yeah, it does.
So you're not gaining anything. You're just kind of like removing some of your prior penalties.
Yeah.
So
How am I gonna add that on there?
you just change
chain shirt and the thing.
change this to light. Alter this to what I think is a 4 is the max dex of a chain shirt. This becomes a -1 instead of what it currently is. And you change this to +2 chain shirt, and that should work for you there.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, it weighs less too. I don't know if that's what the SPL is now. Where's the weight of this? +2.
Oh, it's spell
chain-
failure, this PL.
Oh, that's 20% of it doesn't
Okay,
affect you,
yeah.
does it? Chain shirt's only 20 pounds, so it actually weighs 2/3 the weight too. Sorry, I'm just doing that from memory. You can totally check those details. I was like, oh wait. The only thing I wasn't sure about was the ACP was -2. I wasn't sure.
It's all acrobatics.
That's
not just
gonna.
strength.
That helps me a lot.
Yeah, it reduces a lot of the penalties on your character, including like your stealth, because you use that so often. All right, and to you, Neil, you added the +2 to your dexterity. You had no items that enhanced you before, you said, correct?
No.
Cool. So that's great news for you. Wow, +7. That increases your AC, your chance to hit, all sorts of stuff on you. A bunch of skills.
Does it increase when you sleep?
Yeah, absolutely
It's
it
not
does.
affecting it.
Are you wearing a mithril shirt as a max dex of
Yeah,
6?
max dex of 6. Yeah, so it doesn't.
Ah, that's why it doesn't. That stinks. All right. Did everybody apply what they needed to their characters?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, back to the game. So, she calls you into her chambers, tapping at the chamber door, for you to speak with her. When you guys walk in, immediately as soon as you walk in, you can see that she's standing on the wall opposite the wall that you walk in. So her head, the top of her head is facing directly towards you. If she were Wade, you would see a massive bald spot, unless he chose to shave that day. But in the meanwhile, you see kind of like the top of her head that's right there. She kind of like hearing that she called, come in as you knocked or whatever. She puts down the whatever it was that she was kind of like fiddling with at the time, which to be clear, in case you guys are curious, she's fiddling with a dagger. She puts it down on the table. That again, it's weird because it's like pinned to the wall from your perspective. And then she takes a couple of steps down and off onto the floor that you're standing on is now the same floor that she's standing on. So, is Norway back? I hope Norway's not mad. I just realized Norway hasn't said anything in chat.
Yeah, well, that's what you get, punk.
Hey, listen, it's been like 2 years. First time Nori ever got purged.
It's horrific. I can't believe you did it. I hashtag stand with Norway.
I purged Josh Daly.
No, none of this would have happened if you'd gone and got your own coffee.
Oh God, no! Too much time.
Hey, speaking of look who's in chat. So only get the clip. Get the clip.
There's no clips. So anyways, so yeah, you what was I saying? My apologies. So I agree, Anno. Neil's fault. So you walk in. She walks down to make sure that her ground is the same ground as yours. It starts walking towards you and says, "It's been an eventful time since you arrived here, hasn't it?"
Indeed.
Very. A short time, I think, that we've seemingly been here.
I wonder if he doesn't know that I removed the timeout. You might not know that. Say that one more time, Jake.
Now, just stay quiet, Norway, and make him stew.
I won't lie. I have sitting here like, oh, because I know he takes jokes a bit differently than some of the other people in the community.
What you're doing right now is justice. He must pay for his sins.
No, you see,
that bastard Scott deserves what he gets.
No, a lesser man would clip that and would save that clip to enjoy in the stewing, okay? But Norway is above such things, right? He doesn't sit there in a stew.
He was like, whoa, guess I'm timed out. And that was it. He just closed Twitch and got up. That was it. He's like, I'll go for a walk.
Honestly, probably. Like, that was very unpleasant. Right?
Yeah. Goodbye, Scott.
There's others who'd be like, that fucking. Went to go get a tea like a strong person. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. All right. Oh, God. Okay. So you,
It's eating him up.
It really is.
Focus. All right. You have to be brothers at will. You can easily get through this.
Norway would want you to focus on the story.
That's true.
If he was
if Norway was still with us. We need to take that break now.
I'll only be taking it slightly early. Maybe we should.
Yeah, just to refocus.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Scott can get off camera and beg Norway to come back over Discord.
Remember. Hashtag remember.
Wow.
Oh God, I love it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's glorious.
All right.
It really is.
Was there a good version of dictum? I think he just cast it on you. Nice. All right. Anyways, let's take our break. Be right back. Will's here anyways. He spoils it.
Wow.